Okay. Um, we are live, but before I get into anything, um, I have to do something. I would like to do a special shout out on a PlayStation, so one of my friends on my PlayStation list and on Twitter. And the reason I'm doing this for looking out for me with a $50 PSN card because he does enjoy the content on my channel. It's the first time anybody has actually done something for me like this on YouTube. I don't
Nice.
I don't win giveaways. I never gotten a cent from this channel because I'm not monetized, guys, and I don't get review copies or anything like that. I would sincerely, deeply like to thank uh, Nilo TPC. Thank you very, very much. I will never forget this kind act that you did for me, and I've known you done it for others. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really
Nice.
do. Yeah. So now we're going to get started. This is the Irish Podcast, episode 38. I am the Titanfall princess, your Irish girl gamer. But enough about me. We have a special guest tonight. So I'm going to start out with this guest. So we're going to have the panel introduce themselves and tell us what they've been playing. Now, we got some people rolling in late. They had to work or something. So they'll just pop in when they pop in. We're going to start out with our special guest tonight, Mr. Hebot.
Hey, everyone. Thank you for having me, Nancy. Señoras y señores, bienvenido. Thank you very much for inviting me to your podcast. It's been quite some time. It's been an honor once again to be here. Regardless of what people may think, Hebot, rocks out with everyone. I'm not, a fanboy just because I prefer Xbox. I do appreciate good conversation with good people and gamers, and as a whole, that's what keeps me fresh, and that's what keeps me, motivated. Because everybody has their word, and whatever people say is important to hear. So I hope we have a fun little time talking. I don't have a lot of time on me right now, but I'm going to try to extend it as much as I can because I'm driving while I'm doing this, and I hope I don't cut off. So I apologize ahead of time if my audio is not great. But it's definitely an honor, Nancy, for you to having me on again, sweetie. Thank you for the invite. I hope we have a good conversation, like I said, about all the topics you have in mind, and intelligent with love and care from all of us, since we're all, connected with this unique, platform, which is gaming. Thank you for having me, sweetie. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. I told you, you're always welcome. When there's something we're to talk about and you're passionate about, you're welcome to come on anytime. I know you're a very busy man, you're a family man, so it's hard for you to always do these. So, when we can catch you, we catch you. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Next up,
It's nice to meet Frozen. I'm sorry. Nice to meet Frozen. I've never podcast with him before, but nice to be here with you to finally talk with you as well, Frozen. I never met you, so it's really nice to have an opportunity to finally talk to you.
Oh, likewise.
and next up we got Frozen.
Glad to be here. Let's get it going.
He's short and sweet. Short and sweet. Okay.
Sweet.
Yep. All right. All right. Our first topic tonight is going to be the Xbox One, since we have a person who enjoys the Xbox One, but the Xbox more, Microsoft more. Okay. I saw a lot of people on Twitter, get one. Okay. I also saw a video done by Hebot. I did see your video about him getting his Xbox One. And yes, I do watch your video. And so far, the so-called biased media has had nothing but praise for the console. Okay, you even had PlayStation congratulate Microsoft on the launch of the Xbox One. So let's talk about this console, the enhanced graphics it has on older Xbox games. Okay, and also the people that have the console, tell me more about it. Now, I personally don't have the console. Okay. So I wanted other people who have it to talk about it. So, Hebot, take it away.
Sure. Okay. So how can I start with being as honest as possible? I got the console. I've had it pre-ordered for quite some time. As you know, I have 4 boys at home and myself, and daughters that are all now pretty much everybody likes to game on something or some type of genre, right? I made the upgrade because I was really curious to see and how much the differences were going to be. Just like I did the changes when I bought the PlayStation 4 Pro, um, which I did get rid of because I didn't feel I had enough at the time. I still have my Slim, and I said, well, when the price would drop, I would get it again because I'm a very big movie buff as well, and I didn't have a 4K player. And as you know, the S did, and now the X. So that was also another plus why I made that move. And in my home, because I have so many gamers, I have. A PlayStation 4. I have also the Wii U, and then I also have four Xbox One. No, three S's now in the X, right? So so everybody plays on something. Um, what I can say is that if anybody had any reserve, right, or any doubt of making the leap and maybe upgrading, right, if you own an Xbox already, or if you don't own an Xbox. Um, it's it's going to deliver in every way possible. The console, I don't know how they did it, how they engineered it. The power is there, the benefits are there. But I want to make clear to people, I don't get nothing from Microsoft free. Just like Nancy stated earlier, she doesn't get anything. Nancy buys her own stuff because Nancy's a gamer, just like me. We go back, we rooted from the arcade and Atari, and we buy the product because we support our hobby, because we want gaming to grow and stay growing, continue going forward for many years. Um, which right now is a fine line with all the microtransactions and all the DLCs, the cost of gaming, development, how much it costs to make games, people not really supporting enough their exclusives. Um, so what I'm gonna do is I'll give you the pros first, and I guess I'll say the cons. Uh, which honestly, it's not much, but it could be for some. Um, as far as the price point, all I can tell you is if you already own an Xbox, you can trade in your S model, whether it's the Gears or a regular S with 1 terabyte. You can get a nice amount because a lot of places are doing trade up values like Best Buys or Microsoft Store or even GameStop. They give you up to 150 or $200, and you'll just pay the $300 difference. Um, pretty wild because the thing is, if you have the right TV, like I got a Vizio E Series 5000S E Series, which has all the bells and whistles. It was a $1,200 TV, but since it was the 2017 model, early 2017, it went down in price because obviously the new 2018 models are coming out. I can tell you guys that it's a good TV to buy and start off with. If you want to upgrade later on to QLED, you can. But the great thing about the X is you don't even need a actual 4K TV because I also tried it on my 1080p panels, and when I played them on my 1080p panels, you also see the benefits because the benefits are not just graphical. The benefits are with loading, you have significant better loading. The jagged edges from the anti-aliasing to the draw distance, the shadow casting, the lighting, everything is meticulous. It's high end. You can see that it's in the caliber of like PC quality. And even the fact that they're giving you the choice to pick selective like scales, like you can play it with better resolution, 4K ultra high with 30 frames, or you can play, let's say 1080p with high settings and 60 frames with games like Final Fantasy and 15, obviously, and Rise of the Tomb Raider, Gears of War, and they all look great. They look fantastic. But being honest, the only way you will benefit the full maximum bells and whistles and capacity of what the console can do, you do need a 4K TV because that's when you'll get your HDR and your 100%, 4K resolution. So, if you can invest in getting a TV, like I did, like the Vizio I got, which has 120 hertz, it has 5,000,000 to 1 contrast ratio, it has a low latency mode, it has a game mode, so your latency is very minimal or very good. Um, and it has what you call it, a matte panel with anti-glare, so you don't get no, disruption when the lights are on. Uh, it's only 498. It's a beautiful TV. It's a 55 inch, a very nice size, because you have to go bigger. Since the pixels are higher, you have to go bigger in order to benefit all the little details. Assassin's Creed looks really beautiful. I've tried out Quantum Break. It looks significantly cleaned up. It doesn't have that grain, like that film grain effect. Um,
Hebot, not to
what
cut you
else?
off. I just want to welcome Rambo.
What's going
Welcome,
on, guys?
Rambo. Glad you
Hey,
can make it.
I'm listening to him, so I was figuring I'd listen while he was doing his thing. So
Okay. I just want to welcome you in.
thank you.
hey, Charlie. How
Go
are you?
ahead, Hebot.
Yeah. So what else? Plus the nice thing also is obviously you have the bonus now that you got backwards compatibility. Somebody like myself and Nancy, I own like 2,000 games, perhaps more, on Xbox 360 alone. I didn't get to play all the games, so I still have like a library of like 600 plus games just on 360. Back. I know it's a little bit slow, the process, because they do them by monthly, sometimes every 2 months. But the fact that they're still doing them and they haven't given up on them like they kind of did with 360 OG so far is great. And now that they added the inclusion of the OG Xbox for a lot of people that were on PlayStation 2 in that generation, because it was the formidable console at the time. It was the most popular, and many people didn't really know what OG was. They didn't want to jump to Microsoft's console because they had no experience, so they were kind of skeptical about what they were going to bring to the table. We'll now have an opportunity to play some of these games as well, enhanced as well, and they look beautiful. In their 4K upres. Some of them have added textures and also better frame rate in a lot of cases. So you eliminate things like bump mapping, screen tearing, faster loadings. It's got a lot of wonderful benefits. It's definitely worth the money if you really want the full-fledged experience. It really is. But the target for this is mainly, people say that it's just for or think maybe that it's just for the hardcore, which in part it is in a lot of ways. But at the same time, I think for people that never really upgraded, that maybe still were on the 360, or maybe just had PS4, or maybe even a Nintendo Wii and a Switch, this is a beautiful entry point for them as well. A great entry point on the Xbox ecosystem to play all their Xbox games that are only on Xbox, of course, just like there's only games on PlayStation and on the Switch, which that's why you buy the consoles to play those games. And if so for them, I think those are the two main core audiences. And even perhaps maybe some PC guys, for the fact that playing high res games with HDR right now is either not really there, or it's too expensive if it is available, which is very small. I mean, PC World tried to build the PC kind of to the equivalent of it, and it really wasn't get there. And I know they said that if you added the inclusion of the 4K player, it doubled the amount. But again, like I said, the PC is also it's not for everyone. So the simplicity of consoles is it's a great choice and a great segue into like that high end gaming experience. With the simplicity of the console. So if you have an Xbox already, like I said, if you trade it in, you don't really have to pay the whole 500 if the money is the issue. But for those that want to hold back, it's also good because once they if they bring it down in price, you'll be able to pick it up. You're still going to be able to benefit whether you're on an 1080p TV or on a 4K TV. So and I'm glad that they finally were able to get this out of the way with all the nuisance and mishaps they had obviously with the launch of the Xbox One originally. With the not being able to perform as well as they wanted to, with all the backlashes and stuff like that. And now they also Phil came out and said that he is willing to or trying to start to buy either existing developers that are really good that can do stuff for them, or even create in-house developers, which I think would be a better, the better way for them to go, or the better route, because that way they can keep those games there and give the console more value, so people won't think that, oh well, because I can play it on PC, I don't really need it, which it depends on the game, because they still have games that are out there, but it's just not enough, and I understand that. But with that being said, console gamers and PC gamers usually are we're from a different, type of way of thinking anyway. But if you're a console gamer, definitely it's worth every penny with the back library that they've had since the launch. So not too long-winded and take too much time. I think it's wonderful piece of equipment. I've heard some people are having some problems with it, which I think this happens with a lot of console launches. Uh, Even though this is not really a new launch, this is really more of a refresh. But hopefully they'll get it sorted out, and I feel bad for those people, and I hope they'll get it, because they put their hard-earned money to get it, obviously, and that they'll get it sorted out, and they won't, they'll get it fixed properly. So the only downside for me was 4K pictures are so demanding as far as taking so much space and needing a lot of bandwidth. You need a significant amount of hardware. It goes with the control with certain games, because if they have any type of textures that they're trying to put in or implement, it's just high. And some people have data cap, which is also sucks that it still exists in a lot of places. But I believe Microsoft did say they're trying to look into putting in those what you call it, so giving you the option that you can put those DLCs or those patches into the cloud itself. They're working on it. Mike Yarborough had said something about it. I don't know what it's actually called, but he said they're working on it. And if that goes through, that'll be fantastic for everyone, because you don't have to worry about now, the cost of the hard drive. We got to buy 5 terabytes or 8 terabytes. But that would be my as far as, and hopefully that we'll get more of these games coming forward, or software to complement the console, obviously. Installations, leaves, or Crackdown, or even State of Decay. Hopefully, everything will go, according to plans. That's my thought on it.
Okay, Hebot, quick question, because I know you're finishing up. How does Killer Instinct look on there?
It looks,
try it yet?
It looks beautiful, Nancy. It really does, but it's really soft. It has a really soft look to it. The thing is, Killer Instinct by design, the aesthetics of it. It's more like a cel shaded type of realistic look. Mm-hmm. So textures don't look like something like, let's say, you see in Horizon Zero Dawn or Rise, right? No, or even Injustice. But the game itself, the like the draw distance, the actual environments, you can see everything now clear, very sharp, very clean. Even in the far distance, like there's some birds flying by with some mist of cloud, or even some people, let's say it's battling in the background. Hypothetically, mm-hmm. I'm just saying, you see everything. Beautiful. Okay. And even on the 1080p TV, you see it. It's really beautiful, really soft. No jagged edges. The anti-aliasing is phenomenal. And the VSync they use for elimination of screen tearing, fantastic. It's working really, really good so far. Especially with Killer, it looks really nice.
Okay, I just wanted to check. What about you, Rambo? Sure. What do you got to say about the Xbox One X?
Well, I'm just, I don't know. I mean, excuse me. Of course, I didn't, pick it up yet. But
I thought you did get it.
No, I didn't get it yet. But I actually ended up with the stuff that happened with my daughter and stuff. I ended up having to take back my Xbox One S so that way I could actually have some.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah.
Some money, because we're having to go to court and the detective's office and stuff like that quite a bit. And she's having to take off work, so. Um, as far as like the
My condolences.
yeah, that's fine. I appreciate that. But the PC Magazine one about building the X, that was so disingenuous. Not on your part, but on their part. They were going for what they called value, and so that way they forced it to include a UHD drive, which is not needed at all for gaming. Instead of doing a gaming comparison, they did a value comparison. But what I found interesting is they didn't add the value of what all is in PC, and take the cost of what the X can't do, that PC can, and take it out of the cost as well. Because if you're going to do value, then you got to do value on both sides. The better comparison would be the gaming to the gaming, and you can in fact build a gaming rig that can do what the X can do gaming wise. For $500, and it's just, I mean, it's all subjective as far as like whether you want. I do think the console is actually worth it. It's not worth it like for me. I'll eventually get one, but it's not worth it for me to like go run out and buy because it doesn't have the games on it that speak volumes like to make me want the console. If it had the games on it, the PlayStation had on it, the exclusives, it would be a no-brainer. It would be a day one. But a little bit better resolution, maybe a little bit better graphics, isn't going to make me spend $500 and leave the PlayStation behind. So I think it's mainly for original Xbox owners, people, maybe still 360 owners that haven't upgraded. It's definitely not going to be for like the PlayStation gamer that wants to buy a Xbox for exclusives, because it's really just not, there's not enough of them there yet. And it kind of, I'm hoping that Phil sticks to his word. He said it in 2014. He said it in 2015. He said it in 2016, and now again in 2017. And the only thing he's done with first party is close first party. So I just hope that this time, he's actually means it and will actually do what he needs to do to get Microsoft back into competition. Because right now, I mean, they're still going to struggle. Even with the most powerful console out there, they're not, without the games. It's going to be a hard long road for them. So I really hope that they really do stick with their guns and stick with what they say they're going to do and get it done. Because I'd love to see Xbox back in a competing fashion. Because right now it looks like the Switch actually has a chance to take over second place if the trend keeps going the way it's going. So I really hope that Microsoft does what they need to do to get things back on track.
Okay.
It's a lot of dead air here.
Yeah. I was wondering what happened. Is Nancy gone?
I don't think so.
She might have had a phone call or something.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Yeah. Okay.
I was talking the whole time. I don't know what happened. No, I was asking Frozen. I was asking Frozen if he had anything to say, because I know he's a Nintendo guy. If he had anything to say about the Xbox One X before we move on.
Oh, not really.
Okay.
If they had like games like the exclusive JRPGs that draw me to the 360, I'd probably get one. But not right now.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna say never. But who knows? If someone throws me one my way, I ain't gonna say no. Oh,
of course not.
Yeah.
Of course not. That'd be dumb to do. Somebody gonna toss you one. Hey, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take one too. Toss me one.
Yeah, I'm glad that if everyone has it, if they enjoy what you got. And as long as you like it, I don't. As long as you like it. So
yeah. All right, now Rambo, I'm gonna get you because you tried to jump into my next subject before I even got there. You like to do that when you ramble. Now, all right, now in the first topic, we've really talked about the launch of the Xbox One X, okay, and the power of the console. But I personally think it's more important. The topic would be the game. Okay, you can have power all day, and I'm glad that it's powerful. I really am. But gamers, true gamers, care more about gaming. Okay, that's there was a recent article which Phil Spencer was saying he's got focus on first party games. Now, like Rembo said, he said a lot of things over the past couple of years, and it never happened. Okay, once again, is this truly the case? This would be big if it was for the Xbox gamers. I feel and I feel these first party games in general. Yeah, but I feel that the first party games have to appeal to the Xbox One X owners first and foremost.
Oh yeah, definitely. They can't. I mean, they can't go after new customers. They need to be able to make their first customers happy.
Exactly. To me, this gen had very too much focus on Windows 10, and I know it's a Microsoft company, but that's just my opinion. Okay, or Microsoft losing exclusives to justify the purchase and retain the Xbox One X value as a whole. So, me personally, I'd like to see games like Ninja Gaiden come back. I'd like to see more fighting games. I'd like to see some games, some like hack and slash games, and games with a good story. And for Microsoft to break away from the all shooters for a while. Give us diversity. Give us something else, okay? I want Microsoft to do good. I mean, if they could give me what I want, I may pick one up down the line without a doubt. I can't just do all backwards compat. I can't do it. I had backwards compat between the 360 and my Xbox One, okay? I'm not going to go back and forth and it now play the same games I just played on both of those to play it here. It doesn't justify me buying it right now. So, with that being said, what games do you think, guys, Phil Spencer should focus on? What type of games do you think Phil Spencer should focus on for the people who are that have Xboxes in their homes already?
Well, I mean, like I said, I mean, I would if it wasn't for the situation. So I'll speak on my part. It's going to have to be. I want to say story related, but it seems like they have the same mandate in their company as EA has in theirs. They're doing games as a service. So that's kind of to me far-fetched to be thinking that we're going to get a lot like really heavy story-based driven games. That we might get some smaller games that are story-based, but as far as the big AAA, I don't think we're going to find those too much anymore with Microsoft, which is a shame. But I mean, if we're going to go off of just that, I think it's going to have to be like maybe co-op games that are like RPG co-op, or I mean something that's away from the shooter genre. They're gonna, I mean, like whether it be swords or whether it be whatever, just something away from the shooter genre, because like they've got too many shooters as it is, and they need to diversify that. That's the only way that's going to really open people back up to the Xbox brand is if they diversify, and I hope they do.
I would have been handed BioWare with the money to make KOTOR 3, or at least gotten some type of talk with them to do something
to make
with
what
Xbox, to make Knights of the Old Republic 3.
Oh,
to make that happen.
I don't think they can, because that's a Star Wars game, right?
I mean, if they could,
yeah,
I would have been did something with BioWare to make something happen.
Yeah, I think that the reason why they can't do that is because Disney's already given EA the license to make Star Wars games multi-platform. I don't think they can actually make any side deals after that. But that would have been a good idea considering KOTOR was so popular back then. But I just don't think that they could do that because of the Disney deal with EA. Sadly, Disney doesn't really play around with that kind of crap.
What's up, Demigod? How you doing?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm glad you could join us.
Yeah.
What games do you think that, if any, what Xbox should bring to the Xbox One? What should Phil do? What type of games? I want to get away from shooters. I want hack and slash. I want Ninja Gaiden, stuff like that. What do you think?
It's a lot that they can do, but the one I want, they can't do because just of the Disney license. So mainly, I say try to branch away from shooters and get more RPGs and fighters if you can. Hack and slash is great. We have a diverse lineup, but nobody's really checking for the smaller stuff.
See, and I agree with that because I said the same thing. What about you, Hebot?
The Xbox, I think that's what they tried to do this year, starting from did things like Wars. Obviously, it's an RTS. Something like Cuphead. It's a shooter, and they had something that was also exclusive. That was from I believe either Chinese developer called Candleman. Brought in Super Lucky Steals. Things like the Walking Sims type style, like Tacoma. Obviously they're going to cater to their heaviest forte, which is the multiplayer scene. That's what they're doing the whole thing with the PUBG, and their flagship, Enforcer. I think that's what Phil tried to do to change the lineup this year and the directions. With the exception, obviously, he pushed back Crackdown 3. But Crackdown 3 is going to have a story-based campaign with multiplayer, and it's going to be 4-player co-op. Same thing with State of Decay, and I think it's more like an online experience to have.
Is it just me or is his mic breaking up?
No, he already said he's on the road. He's doing this from the road. So it may go in and out.
Sorry.
Yeah, it is breaking up. Hebot. Bad.
Okay, let me know. I'll try again. I'm sorry. So basically, I think that's what they tried to do this year, and they got a lot of from some people, and some people did. Some people, said, good for them, because they try. They even did, brought back Voodoo Vince as a remaster to probably try to obtain some awareness of the IP, because it's a mascot type thing. It's a platformer. Phil had a personal close attachment to it because when he was part of the development at the time. They even brought Phantom Dust, which is a really awesome underrated game from the OG. And again, I know I completely understand when people say, well, I just don't want to play old style games, but playing them, if you never had the chance before, you get an opportunity to play them now. I think that's a plus. That's great because your investment doesn't feel like, well, you have to keep it on the console in order to play it, or you have to get rid of it. You can actually have a reason to keep it and go forward with it, and it's an option. And plus, it's free. You have the disc, obviously.
Hebot, I do agree with you on that point about where if you didn't have an opportunity to play some of these games in the past, you could now do it because it's backwards compat. But what about new games? What about new IPs? Like it's all shooters, or like you said, the Race and the Forza. What about hack and slashes? What about bringing back Ninja Gaiden? What about more fighting games? What about those type things? More story-based games, maybe story-based games with multiplayer. I mean, they need to bring out more of that to make the people that already own Xboxes.
Yeah, well, their weakest. I'm sorry. No, I'm listening to you. Yeah, absolutely. Their weakest element right now is the RPG. Because obviously, it's the RPG. The RPG, they need more RPGs. And I understand that clearly. But the problem with the RPG scene is that most RPGs are done by mostly developers. And a lot of Japanese developers just don't have that type of relationship, even though I'm pretty sure Phil has tried to reach out, especially that now he went to Japan and tried to talk. Now we're going to get Sword Art Online. We're getting Dragon Ball Fighters. The Monster Hunter, Final Fantasy 15 came to the platform. Attack on Titan 1.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up worse now, Hebot. All of a sudden, yeah. I know you're on the road.
Just tell me. They're bringing more stuff like Monster Hunter. I was trying to say Dragon Ball Z Fighters, Sword Art Online, Valkyrian Chronicles Evolution. We have things like Ruby and Anima in the store, in the Xbox Live store, Blues, Attack on Titans. So they need to get up there.
Yeah, my thing is, My thing is, Hebot, though, is that they're bringing games that may already be on PlayStation. So why would somebody want to go buy? But why would somebody want to buy if somebody has both consoles, okay, and wants a reason to buy another upgraded console for the Xbox, okay, because they like all the consoles. They're collectors. They play. They're gamers. They're real gamers. Why would they go to? Why would they pay for a $500 box if they can already get it? They already own as well. It's all you know what I'm saying. That's my point. They need to bring out something to pull people back in.
The genre that they need to build up on is Japanese RPGs. They need to build up on, or RPGs in general. Let's say, right? They need to establish some type of new RPG. Fighters that they know they have the Mortal Kombat, the Injustice, something like everybody else. But with the benefit of the new console, obviously you'll be able to play them.
All right, you're going now. You went out so bad that we didn't even hear a word you said.
Hello. Really?
Yeah.
Hold on. Sorry.
That's all right. You said this might happen.
Okay, hold on. Just what about now?
That's better.
What I was trying to say is they need to establish more RPGs. The JRPG, either one.
Now you went back out again.
Either style is absolutely welcome. They have Killer Instinct. There's I get what you're saying. We have a PlayStation. That's fine. But like I said, when a PlayStation person or a Nintendo person buys Xbox, they're not going to buy it for the multibox. They're going to buy. Well, it might experience. You'll buy Xbox for their exclusive. Obviously, I'm for Nintendo.
But that's what I'm saying. You'll buy the box for the exclusives, but they don't have any.
Well, of course.
So why?
The fact that people doesn't support them, that's a different story. But they have it. They have Halo. They have the Records. They
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is they have nothing new. They're closing, like even Rambo said earlier, they're closing down more than they're opening when it comes to exclusives and first parties. They're really not doing it.
The whole thing with Lionhead was because there was a investment of $75 million for over 5 years, and nothing was getting done. It wasn't going the way that the fans wanted, obviously, and they weren't happy with the product, and they promised to have it done for a certain amount of time, and they already said, well,
all right, but see, you know what though? I understand they invest that much money, but when you invest that much money, you got to have somebody as a supervisor to make sure that shit gets done. I'm not handing out $75 million and just letting somebody take it and, go ahead, do what you want. No.
They do need to invest in first-party studios.
Yep.
What game are we talking about?
They need studios in general, but the RPG thing, they need that, but they had RPGs last gen. That's the reason why I had a 360 over PS3. I even still to this day, I think Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon, those are better than some of the stuff on PS3. I'm sorry, PS3, the JRPG lineup was trash. It was, in my opinion. Nobody bought them. Nobody bought them on 360.
And people are begging for a Lost Odyssey sequel.
Yeah.
Nobody bought them, man. It was those were good games, man. They were real good games.
You guys,
they have IPs right now that they like that they could actually go and create a sequel or even reboot the whole franchise altogether. The only problem is they don't have studios to do it, and so they need to focus on just acquiring studios, not so much acquiring a studio because of a popular game, but finding a studio or hiring people and putting a studio together to have them work on a freaking IP that Microsoft already owns would be nice. It would just something.
He did say he's out there looking for studios.
That's what he said. That's what he said in 2015 and 2016. And the only thing he did is close studios. Like if I was 343 in the coalition right now, I'd be like, shit.
Oh well, man. All I gotta say is, man, we might have to wait till E3.
I hope so. Well, I gotta hate that.
I would let 343 and coalition take different chances and different risks.
Thank you.
Is that Demi that said that? That is a demigod.
Yeah.
That takes different risks in between these bigger titles. Let them breathe on different games.
Exactly.
While the Halo and Gears are taking their breaks, or they're still like living through multiplayer. Let them do their thing then, so that way they can test the waters with new IPs.
Hello.
We don't need three Halo games in a generation. We don't need.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. We don't need four.
Oh, okay.
We don't need 3 Gears games in a generation. I'm not saying that we've had that so far. I'm just saying, but we don't need that. So whenever like Halo 5 comes out and they're still supporting it with additions and multiplayer and all that crap, that doesn't take a full team to support the multiplayer, but let the rest of the team create a different IP, and maybe they might create the like the Last of Us type of thing for them.
Like like I was trying to say before, every company is going to depend on their flagships, just like Sony depends, obviously on their Uncharted, their God of Wars, and their Kill Zones, and now their Last of Us 2, right, which was announced, and that's fine because those are their flagships, those are their bread and butter, right? But I don't think it's for lack of trying. I just remember, Microsoft didn't have the success that Sony had, right, from launch. So Microsoft couldn't sit back on their laurels. Microsoft had to actually reconstruct the whole branding of the company. And Frozen was saying something that he had a very good point. He said, yes, that they have really good RPGs, better than PS3, and they were great. But that's because they came out first in the market in the last generation.
Okay.
They were the first.
But he bought.
Scene. The problem, though, what Frozen said, nobody bought them. So when you don't buy something, it's very hard, especially with a company that heavily relies, because Microsoft is not just in gaming. Microsoft is also Windows, as we know. It's 2 entities. So in order for them to, I think what was the problem with Phil was for him to be able to get anything greenlit, it had to make money enough for him to get greenlit, and it was very hard in his position. Now, because he's in a different position and he's up in the boards, with the big guys, I think he has that power, and will have that, that open hand, if you will, to make more aggressive decisions. Like building, you hit a great point, Charlie. They do need to build new studios. They have to, because I think the reason. Go ahead, Charlie.
No, here's the thing that like where I was referring to that is that, I mean, yeah, I know you like what you said about Microsoft having to rebuild, but so did PlayStation during the PlayStation 3 generation. And what happened is that PlayStation actually completed that rebuild during that generation and ended up winning. But the reason why is because they actually had. I'm sorry.
They ended in a good.
No,
I'm sorry. I said that that Sony last generation ended in a good note because they had The Last of Us and things like.
Right, they started coming back, but
Uncharted 3 that did well for them. That's why. So they kind of didn't have to start.
Listen, okay, but here's like what I'm saying though is that they had a terrible start to the PlayStation 3, and whenever they were going through, they had to completely rethink everything, and then they started focusing on their first party. But they have a lot of first party studios, so they were actually
So they also been 2 generations before Xbox. They were PlayStation.
Right.
Before.
But listen to what I'm saying. Okay, but what I'm saying is like Microsoft, while they were ahead and kicking ass in last generation, they didn't continue investing in first party. Like they kind of rode the wave of the success of the third party support. And then they moved into this generation, and now that they are struggling, they don't have the first party studios to actually be able to bounce back. And so
the problem with building studios is that you need time.
Okay, but here let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. They bought the IP for Crackdown. They bought the IP for State of Decay just this year or last year. Why didn't they buy the studio too? Yeah, but why didn't they buy the studio?
Well, I'll tell you, because it depends on the developer. Some developers, they don't mind. It's like Insomniac. You see how Insomniac sold a lot of nice IPs to Sony, right? But they were never owned by Sony, right?
Right.
So Some developers just don't want to be bought. And I think because of the way Microsoft is, how they do business, they don't want to feel like they don't want to make the developers feel like they're forcing them to be bought out.
Right?
Now, am I saying?
I get it, but it just.
Am I saying Rambo? I'm not saying that they shouldn't go out and try to buy them. I mean, for Christ's sakes, they should have tried to buy Remedy, which I'm pretty sure they tried. They wanted to be bought. I think Remedy wanted to go back into the PC space and multi-console space again, like they started with Max Payne. That's what I believe.
I'm just having like, to me, like they just keep acquiring more and more IPs, but they don't acquire any studios to make them.
They don't lock down the IPs either, like that.
And that's the problem.
That new playground games, their new game, they didn't even lock that down. That's going to be multi-plat.
No, they even actually came, like playground came to them and asked them like for the exclusive thing, and they said no, they don't. No big deal. Go make it multi-plat. And it's like, why? Like, why not buy Playground? Playground actually offered it.
Yeah, I think that's because, again, like I'm trying to say, I'm trying to look at this because I'm not a businessman. Okay, right. I'm not work at Microsoft. But if I had to take a guess, an educated guess, right? Like all of us here, because we're all speculating.
Of course, we're just speculating. I mean, that's all we can do.
Very valid point. You're absolutely 100% right. They're buying IPs that are good, that have potential, because they even bought Scalebound, they bought Recore. They, I believe they acquired the Ori IP as well. They bought the Quantum Break IP. The problem is, if you buy IPs and don't have developers, how are you going to keep making sequels? I do believe, I remember when Myron McCaffrey talked about in the beginning of the generation, that they were trying to buy the Rise IP because it had a lot of potential to become their God of War, right? So to speak, right? But Crytek didn't want to sell it to them. I think they even tried to acquire the Crisis series, right? And they didn't want to sell it. So that's where, and from people I talk to, because I talk to people that are in the inside that know people like Tim Dog and people like that know personally, people like Aaron Greenberg and that know Albert Pinello and Phil Spencer to a certain degree, obviously, and they, for what I hear from the feedback is basically because their budget has to be drawn out to both entities, whether it's Windows and Xbox, and spread out, they can only do certain things at a certain pace. And that's their biggest Achilles heel, right? Because they have all these IPs now, and they don't have developers to make them. You're absolutely 100% right. And I agree with that.
They could solve all of that by just ditching Windows 10.
Right. But I think Frozen, not Frozen, the guy that just spoke, what's his name? I'm sorry.
It's Demigod Reviews.
Demigod, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I believe, and from what I've seen and the evidence I've pointed, the problem is that Phil still was in shackles. He didn't have enough say. And I think this is why he got his promotion, because he had to prove to Satya Nadella that the Xbox brand, as a console brand, right, or a video game brand, was a viable product. And I think that's what he had to do first. And that's why they did the whole transitioning and changing with giving you a better console and things like that, and a smaller console for those that don't like the bigger size one. And I think they're all going in the right step, and they mean well. But the problem is like Rambo stated, it takes time. It's hard. But I wholeheartedly agree with Rambo. They should have tried to buy the guys who did Forza Horizon. But I don't think they wanted to be bought. That's my whole thing. I don't think they wanted to.
Well, the reason why I say that is that they actually came to Microsoft to actually ask them if they wanted to do an exclusive, and Microsoft said no.
And that was before Phil got the promotion, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was before then, yes.
But that still doesn't matter because they should have accepted it. They should have accepted that for one simple fact. They closed down everything. They need something else.
They should have bought Respawn. Respawn was up for sale and they didn't buy it. Why didn't they not buy Respawn?
That I still feel like that's a missed opportunity.
They should have bought
Respawn. Respawn would live well better under Microsoft than they would have EA.
No, I think.
Yes, I mean, because with EA, I think Respawn's going to be closed in the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Listen, I think with the situation where Respawn happened, remember when they made Titanfall, when they first originally went to Sony, then to Microsoft, they just got on the independent scene, right? So I think what happened was they weren't ready to be bought out. You see what I'm saying? Probably when they saw that that EA made the offer, let's make Titanfall 2, bring it to all the consoles, because the PlayStation still is the dominant selling platform, and you have a bigger market in there as well. They were like, well, let's take this opportunity to happen. For what I understand, a Japanese company was going to buy Respawn. And then that's what kind of, I guess, forced EA to make that decision and buy them. And they really didn't give them a lot if you really think about it, especially with their their portfolio, like where they come from, their history. They've done big things in gaming, have a lot of historical value. And Titanfall 1 and 2 are not bad games. So,
No.
I mean, and they're pretty good. So I think they got the short end of the stick because that's probably the only option they had. But I believe that when they were doing the deal with Xbox, since they just moved on the independent scene, they didn't want to be bought at that point. I think it happened after they realized, listen, in order for us to survive, studio, we need money, and in order for us money, we need somebody with capital that's going to be able to push us, and be able to handle what we need to make. So we're all speculating. I don't know. That's from what I've seen and the evidence that proves to point to that direction and all the ramblings inside. But I think all this is going to change with Phil's promotion. And Nancy, you're 100% right. They should have said, you know what? Buy them. Nancy, you're right. They should have said it. Why wouldn't you buy the development team that just made one of the most successful racing games of all time in sales and the console premise in a long time? Yep. In a long time. I think the last one that did it was the GT series, right? And now, why wouldn't you? These guys want to make it. I think it was Nadal. I was like, no, we can't, because I think Phil wanted to give them a good deal, like meaning a lot of money, because they deserve it. They proved themselves. They did it with Horizon 1, 2, and now they want to do an RPG in the vein of Witcher. So I'm pretty sure these guys are passionate because they already proved they can make a hell of a racing game. Everybody's curiosity is going to be like, well, what can they do if they do something like an RPG like Witcher? You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So,
but I got a question.
You think?
You mentioned the statement before, and I was being quiet because you and Rambo were talking, and Demigod was in there talking, so I kept quiet for a minute. But I got a question. I understand Phil got a promotion, and I understand you said he had to prove himself. In my opinion, I don't think he proved anything, because the Xbox One overall they needed more hardware. They closed down all these studios. How is that proving that gaming is important? When you close down studios, you got rid of first-party games, you got rid of exclusives, you did all of that. How is that proving anything? My point. That's all I'm asking.
No, go ahead. What was that first part? I missed the first part. You said that.
The first part is that you said that Phil Spencer had to prove himself in order to get that promotion. Okay? In my opinion, how did he prove himself? Because the Xbox itself, the Xbox One, was losing people all the time. A lot of people were moving to PlayStation. Okay, they closed down studios. They were canceling exclusives. They were doing all this. So by making a new console without real good new IPs to keep people coming back and exclusives and not having studios, how is that proving himself to be worthy of a promotion? Is all I'm asking.
Okay, well, I'll tell you how. The way he did it was, one, the numbers, because people were buying, right? Because of the message, or this is you can have these type of games and these type of experience. That's number one. And what we're trying to do for the future, the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, but just that one thing before you continue. But like Rambo said, and I said earlier, he said the same thing for 3 years straight and didn't make any changes. It was getting less and less, and studios are being closed. So why should we believe him now?
Well, I'm telling you, because I believe he had shackles. He was constrained because his position, although he was head of Xbox, he still had limitations. Now he's the one that runs the head honcho, basically, next to Nadal in the board, as far as the gaming division. So if he, listen, this is what we need to get, this is what we need to do, and this is how much we need. There's no question about it, and it's going to work. He can do that now, because he don't have to go for that.
I honestly hope they gave him enough power on that board to be able to do that. because they need that for Xbox division to survive.
But I think one thing that we all are overlooking, and one thing that to me is very telling, is the remaining portions of the Xbox executives: Aaron Greenberg, Mike Ybarra, Shannon Loftus. One thing that's very telling, and I think that maybe this might be more telling than really what Phil Spencer is saying in the public, is that these people honestly said that they believe that their first party lineup this year was on par with Sony's and Nintendo's.
She said Recore was on the scale of Halo.
Yes. So I mean, what I'm wondering is if does the company itself? I mean, obviously that message that she's saying, and others have said it too, but the message that they're saying is like, does that mean that Satya Nadella and the rest of them honestly feel that they're doing enough as it is in the exclusive department? Because if they truly believe that, then they're really not going to try that much harder.
Especially when they give most of the PC games, like they get their games, they don't get them in return. You know, you don't get a lot of games from the PC on the Xbox, but all the Xbox games on the PC.
Yeah.
Well, I think the reason why they
honestly think, wait, if they honestly think they're bringing enough exclusives to Xbox, they got another guest coming. Because that's what pissed me off about Xbox. There weren't enough of them, and it wasn't enough diversity. I still play it here and there. I still play it here and there. You can see my score still going up, but I don't play it like that. I play Cuphead, that, you know, but I support exclusives.
Oh yeah, you know what you play.
I think the reasoning why she put Recore as an example. Can you hear me, guys, or no?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. And again, I apologize for my audio because I'm driving. I'm literally driving. The reasoning behind the Recore, comparison, because of the pedigree that they had, Kenji Inafune, the creator of Mega Man, and the other gentleman, Metroid Prime series. I think that's what she was probably trying to compare it to. But as far as the games itself, obviously you can't compare them because Recore is a smaller game, lower budget, production value, and obviously marketing than obviously. So maybe that wasn't obviously.
Okay, but why did I get the comparison to Halo? You know what you're saying there, but she compared their Xbox's first party lineup and said that it is on par with PlayStation and Nintendo's first party lineup, and there is no way in hell that you can even think that.
They shouldn't even be thinking about that right now. They need to be working on their games instead of doing.
Yeah, but still, if they believe this as a company, then what incentive do they have to actually?
Charlie, look at it this way. And again, you have to agree with me or not. Look at it like this. Like I said, this year they had an RTS, right? This year they had more platformers than they ever had on Xbox in quite a while. The remaster of Wolverine being reintroduced, Super Lucky Tales, right? And things of that nature, right? They have the premier race, obviously, that was Reflection. They were supposed to have Crackdown 3, but I believe the backlash of people not being happy with how it looked.
Hebot, you broke up real bad. Hebot, you there?
Somebody got a TV running in their background?
No, you might actually hear my granddaughter crying. So
yeah, I heard that.
Hello.
Yeah, Hebot, you broke up real bad. Now we can, but we couldn't hear you for the last minute and a half.
Okay, so
well, not a minute.
I think
maybe about 45 seconds. I'm exaggerating, but
okay, that's okay. I think what they mean by saying about the diverse portfolio is because you saw that they brought, an RTS. They bought more platforms that they've ever had in quite some time in things like Cuphead, Super Lucky's Tales, and the reintroduction of the Voodoo Vince with the remaster. They're trying to bring the Japanese scene with things like, what you call it, the introduction of oh my gosh, so sorry, of games like Phantom Dust, and that's why they gave it free, obviously, because they it wasn't worth really buying, in the state that it was. To just bring awareness, really, just bring awareness, and I think that's where they're trying to make that comparison, because the big hitter for this year for PlayStation was Horizon Zero Dawn. It was really good and it was successful for them. More for the developer, obviously, be based on the install base and the ratio, which is great, because every new IP that does well is great for the industry as a whole, in general. Period. And obviously they're not going to have the success like Nintendo with something like Mario and something like Zelda, because these are IPs that existed for over 30 years, have a pedigree, and they've been done so many times that you can't mess them up. The developers are just too experienced and know what they're doing. They're masters of their craft, if you will, right?
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
when she said that comment, right? Although it sounds far-fetched, I think what she probably was stating and alluding is to the fact of that they had, RTSs. They had, something like Tacoma, something like Candleman. They had something like Voodoo Vince, which is older, trying to bring it back to bring awareness. Something like Phantom Dust, right? Or something like a Cuphead, which is, never been done in that art style before, in that aesthetic. Or something, in the vein of, Super Lucky Sales, a brand new 3D platformer for them. Because
yeah, I can definitely agree with that, like that motion, as far as like they had pretty good diversity as far as this year goes with the type of exclusives, not first party, but exclusives in general. But
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that they just really have to be careful with the way they say things. I think that's
I agree.
Their message has to be completely clear.
And they need to stop giving release dates. They need to stop giving release dates and stuff when they announce their games. Like, it's cool to know when a game comes out, but they're delaying games. Like, we're getting games we were supposed to get like 4 years ago, like next year.
To add to what you're saying, Demigod, I think that's the reason why Phil said I don't want to keep announcing things early, because of the backlash that he got, obviously, for Fable Legends and Scale, because things can go wrong. It's more politics. That's the video game politics, obviously, and especially in the Microsoft side, because, like I said, Microsoft doesn't have the privilege that Sony has. That Sony's just games. Their movie studios is something completely separate, and it's something that has a different medium. With Microsoft, Windows, since it's so affiliated with games as well, it's two entities. But now, him being in that position in the board, he can actually say, "Listen, we got to know how to differentiate Windows from Xbox, because we can't take the value away from the console, because then what's the point?"
Exactly.
That's the problem.
You know what?
Because then
I got to say something. You are one of the first people from Xbox that has actually admitted that shit.
Well, I mean, I've always said they have to work on it, because the whole meaning and reason to own a console, the whole purpose of it
always
is
said that.
For their exclusive first. The multiplayer, those are bonuses, even though they're the ones that dominate.
Right.
Yes, because everybody gets to play them. But you have to have those particular few gems, that differentiate PlayStation, Nintendo, and Microsoft's Xbox.
Yes.
Why? Because then people can associate. They'll be like, well, wait a second. Well, what's this? What's that? And again, like I tried to tell you guys earlier, and I don't mean to try to sound like a broken record, it's not for lack of trying. I think they have tried with Sunset and D4 and, things like Recore and Quantum.
Sunset is something they need to bring back. Sunset Overdrive is something they need to bring back.
Without a shadow of a doubt, 100%. But here's the problem, Nancy, too, that we talked about this a long time ago, sweetie.
Nobody supports it.
Xbox supporters and gamers have to support it.
Exactly.
We have to support
it.
Because if we don't support, then I know you do, absolutely. So do I. You know how my collection is. Rambo, I know he buys stuff because I see his stuff all the time.
Oh, by the way, before I forget, before we keep going, let's welcome Craig Harris to the show. Unfortunately, he showed up late, but he made it. What's up, Craig?
He just dipped out.
I think he left out. Yeah, he left out.
Oh, damn. Craig, come on.
No,
I wasn't even looking.
No, I got something to add.
Go ahead,
I got something to add to what Hebot was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like how he mentioned, like the Japanese games, how he's getting that stuff over. and some games aren't quote unquote supported. What kind of baffles me is a game like Sword Art Online will go to Xbox, but why is it not on the Switch? A game like that I think the game like that would sell pretty well.
Very valid point. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's not going to go there, Frozen. To be honest with you, maybe it won't go.
I think most of the games are going to go there. I'm just saying, like, a lot of these games that go to the Xbox, like, I'm surprised, like, why aren't these on the Switch either? I understand, the architecture, things like that, but I'm just like surprised, like a lot of like when I look in the comment sections of the videos and people say, who's buying this on Xbox? Is anyone going to buy this on Xbox? We want a Switch port, things like that. You know what I mean? Like,
see, that's the problem. Unfortunately, like both me and Hebot said, and we've been saying it for years. It's not just 1 year. We've been saying it for over 2 years since I've been on here. The problem is Xbox people do not support exclusives, and that's why I think the company unfortunately went the way it went, because these people who hype it up and say we're hardcore Xbox people. Excuse my mouth, but these motherfuckers don't buy these games and they don't play them.
But y'all
just because people are used to the same rigmarole.
I think they're getting that Sword Online game though. Is because they have guns in it though. I think.
Okay, but here. Okay, you're. I know you brought up the Switch, but you got to understand, Nintendo is the king of making something great, but then fucking themselves in the exact same time. Everybody wanted like them to go to disc, and they were like, guess what? We went to disc, but they're only 3 inches big. Whenever the GameCube went, they always come up with some funky way to like put an extra roadblock in with these developers, and now they did it with these stupid cartridges that people are having to buy. That's costing the developers and stuff more money and more time to develop for them. I'm not saying that they shouldn't come there, but Nintendo always seems to find a way to screw things up, and or to make it harder.
Yeah, but they ain't screwing up something now because they may surpass the Xbox now.
They're doing that by their first party. I mean, that's what they're doing right now. But the problem is that after this year and the beginning of next year, they're like these people, the studio that made Mario Odyssey, the studio that made Legend of Zelda, they're not going to have another game ready for next year. So third party is going to have to really carry them next year.
Yeah, step it up, right? Yeah, and that's going to be hard. It's going to be hard.
It's going to be really hard.
Mm-hmm. Because of that extra, he bought fix your mic.
because of that extra work.
Have something ready though.
Because of that extra work that they have.
They got a direct actually coming up soon on Nintendo Direct where they're going to.
I hope so. I mean, I hope Nintendo keeps it up, but I just don't see Nintendo being able to keep up the exclusive push that they had this year.
No, they pump out a lot of exclusives. They do. Like to keep it real, like as far as first party wise, they pumped out more on the Wii U than people thought. Like even though Wii U had droughts, they had a lot of exclusives. Like they did. Like I'm surprised they got that much.
That's about all they had was.
He bought your mics real bad.
How about now?
Better. I heard you.
Frozen. They had a lot of exclusive in the Wii U. You're right, but the thing is, they had the same problem. Like what happened with Xbox games. A lot of people didn't buy them. Bayonetta 2 was exclusive, fantastic game, and didn't sell.
Yeah, well, you know what? To counter that, it still sold more than the Bayonetta 1 on the 360 and the PS3.
Oh, maybe. I'm pretty sure, probably, especially with the price drops. I'm pretty sure, but it should have been a game that sold right from day one because it was a fantastic piece of work, and it actually took advantage of the console. It showed you what the Wii can actually do, the hardware. You know what I mean? As far as the hardware front. And you were getting your money's worth because they also gave you Bayonetta 1, which never came out to the Wii. You see what I'm saying, Frozen? Yeah. So, but you're right. You're absolutely right. I think, and Charlie's right too. They have a really uphill battle because they have a product that's moving well right now. Right? They have a product that's moving well, but now can they meet the demands of how well the product moves?
They can't even keep. Well, I heard they're going to have more. Like they're struggling for supplies. Like
no, we're not talking about keeping the demand of the console. We're talking about being able to keep up with the games. That's the biggest problem going to be going forward.
We're going to see how well the third parties do as far as this November for them.
Oh yeah, I mean the third parties are going to be the key.
Charlie, what I'm saying is, you know how you said how everybody's here saying in agreement. We're all in agreement. It's selling well, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that it's selling well, they need to give the games to the people who bought it. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, all right, it sold well, but if they got the hardware on their hands, but if they don't have the games, people might phase back and start to trade it in and be like, I'm not going to keep it because there's not enough games.
Yeah,
you know what
and
I
that's
mean?
what I fear for Nintendo.
So I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, I agree. I know exactly what you're saying. Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't. Hello. I think she might be talking, but it's messing up again. I think.
Yeah.
Can you all hear me?
And Demi.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Now we can.
I don't know what happened. No, I said since everybody got quiet, I'm gonna move on to the next subject.
Okay.
Because and then I'm gonna open the floor to everybody, whatever you want to talk about. Okay, because I always do that. But this one is near and dear to my heart, so I gotta bring this one up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh boy, EA Games, as you know, has officially brought the Titanfall IP. They bought it. Okay, and Titanfall 3 is already being worked on. This to me is bad, excuse my mouth, motherfucking news. Okay, and the reason is because EA, you're not talking about a company that actually provides dedicated servers. You're talking about a company that has a history of microtransactions and a company that ruined a good number of games. I mean, just look at how bad Madden had been for years, okay? We no longer have Medal of Honor or Fight Night. What I liked about Respawn is that they actually cared about Titanfall. Just like I did, okay?
That was the original COD devs right there. The original Call of Duty devs.
Yeah, yep. And I hope and I pray that EA can care about Titanfall and treat the game the way it deserves to be treated, okay? Now, how do you guys feel about EA buying Titanfall from Respawn? And what are your thoughts on Titanfall 3? Me, I'm sad. Right now, no, because if they don't give me dedicated servers, that's going to...
Well,
no.
I have something to say to EA. First of all, EA is good with dedicated servers because they do it with Battlefield. When it comes to
no, I gotta disagree. No, they don't have dedicated.
Battlefield has dedicated servers.
No, I'll let Rambo go. I got a question after.
But when it comes to them buying Titanfall, I honestly, a Respawn or whatever, I honestly believe they didn't buy them to make and keep Titanfall 3. I think that what's going to happen is you're going to see either Titanfall 3 release, and that'll be the last Titanfall that you'll ever see. Or Titanfall 3 will be canceled. EA has a very big history of knowing of actually buying studios for their technology and their.
So they're gonna toss Titanfall out the window, basically.
Basically, they buy, they'll buy a studio that has some good technology, tell them they're going to work on a game, and then cancel the game later on, basically, and close the company down. But they get to keep all the stuff from that company. So. I have a really bad feeling about this because, I don't know. I mean, the EA is not really. I think BioWare's gone here soon. I think Respawn will be gone here soon. I see it just being. They're going to stick with their main IPs that they have.
Microsoft should have just picked up Respawn on some serious note.
I would have loved that, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would have loved it. I would have loved to have seen that, but I think that EA.
Well, Phil's in charge now. Before they do anything, go.
The only problem is though, is we don't know if it was public knowledge that Respawn was up for sale.
Right.
I mean, if it wasn't public knowledge and EA, since EA is working with them, then obviously EA has an inside track to buying them. So yeah, I mean, that's what it sounds like to me, because I mean, it was kind of news to me that Respawn was even up for sale whenever we got the news that they bought them. So my guess is that Microsoft and nobody really even knew about it until it was too late.
I got a question.
Okay. What's your question?
Now, are you sure that it's Titanfall 3 and it's not a new Star Wars game? Because that's what EA wants to be about. They want to be about Star Wars.
No, I heard. No, there was it was said that EA has officially bought the Titanfall IP, and the Titanfall 3 is already being worked on.
Is it a real Titanfall 3 or like a MMO type of game or something?
I don't know. That's what I don't know, and that's why I said it was bad news to me. That's why I said it was bad news to me because
it'll probably be a next generation game, like with that Star Wars game and all these other games that that they're working on. It'll probably be next generation.
So they're gonna mess it.
Well,
if they do it, they're gonna mess it up.
TF3 is gonna be a thing now. Titanfall 3 is eventually gonna be a thing.
Oh yeah,
that was generally gonna come. I got a comment though about what you said about Medal of Honor and Fight Night. Go ahead. The only reason why we don't see Fight Night is because boxing isn't as popular as it used to be.
Yep, UFC took over.
Let me tell you something. It may not be, maybe boxing to some people out there, but to people who play gaming, it's real. Okay, I love Fight Night.
It's out here, but it still isn't as popular as MMA is now.
It wouldn't sell as much as a UFC game right now.
You don't have it's very popular. Like even the new one looks pretty good, and like UFC is like on fire.
The other problem,
I know the big names. You don't have the big names that boxing used to have, so that's why it would be a big sale.
But you could actually put it in these big people in the game and sell it by these people. Come on,
they're doing that in UFC. They're putting boxers in UFC, though. They're gonna have Floyd in the new UFC.
Exactly. If they could put listen, they put Bruce Lee in UFC. If you could put Bruce Lee in UFC, you could no. Let's get real. If you could do that, then you could do the same thing with Fight Night.
No, it wouldn't. But it wouldn't. There's no way. I guarantee you could put out a Fight Night right now, and I guarantee it wouldn't sell over 2 million copies, and that's across both platforms.
If it does, it'd be a miracle if it did. Because
boxing right now, without Floyd Mayweather in boxing right now, they're struggling for views.
Yeah, it's not really.
They are getting drowned by UFC.
Listen.
The other thing is the light.
Charlie, I understand, Charlie. Okay, what I'm saying is that if you put these people's names in there, okay, and sell it based on them, like put Mayweather on the cover or something, do something. People who are boxing enthusiasts, even though they are not seeing big names right now, and are game enthusiasts, will buy that. I would.
I know. I get what you're saying, but as a company, it'd be a huge loss on their hands by putting a boxing game out, even if they included the UFC fighters in it. But if they labeled it as a boxing game over a UFC game, they'd lose money, and no business is going to know when to do that.
Put it Fight Night versus.
Put a DLC in. Put a DLC. Put a boxing DLC into a Fight Night DLC into the UFC game. I could go with that.
Or put UFC versus UFC versus Fight Night.
Yeah, and then you have Floyd Mayweather and Conor on the cover. There you go.
There you go.
Or you combine it with Fight Night and
they
UFC.
took everybody for a ride with that shit.
Or you can pick the pro choices of whether you want to go to do MMA or whether you want to do boxing.
Yeah, I mean they could do something like that. Yeah. But they could not sell a boxing title.
It would have to be the combination.
It would have they would have to ride the UFC popularity because there's not enough boxing fans out there right now that would support the development team enough to make it worth its while. So it'd have to be a combination because UFC is definitely dominating right now.
If I can chime in real quick, Charlie, but I think that's also the problem is because of the fact that there's such a drought in boxing right now.
Yeah,
they're asking money for the licensing of each individual boxers, and I think that's also another problem because now they're not doing it just like they used to do back in the day. Remember when they would do the NFL? It would be just the NFL, right?
Yeah, NFL
commission. Now they have to do it with the permission of every player. That's why we wouldn't see the likeness of every player back in the day, and we were like, "Why did they put this guy but not this guy?" I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I remember.
But that's why. I think because of the drought, which is a good. They're just money, and that's another hiccup that they got to go through.
Oh yeah, and I think that's more money out of their pocket, and then not to have a guaranteed, a good, big high sales in return, a guarantee of that isn't worth. I mean, that's the reason why we're not seeing those games.
Right. Now, Nancy, can I chime in because I gotta kind of leave soon, and I don't want to interrupt nobody.
Do what now?
She left again.
Nancy,
I don't know what happened.
I think she's having a problem with her.
Your mic's not working again.
Yeah, Mike.
I think the Titanfall acquisition was basically because they were hardball. They had no choice because, like you said, Charlie, nobody really knew about it. But the word was that when they made the statement that they were going to get bought by a Japanese developer, and then all of a sudden EA decides to buy them. You see what I'm saying? I think that EA, if there were intentions was to buy them right from the very beginning, they would have just done it right away, right off the bat. Could either be good, but because of EA's track record, it could be really bad. For this fact that if they're probably going to give them another shot at a new Titanfall, which is Titanfall 3, obviously.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't do well, it doesn't sell well, maybe they'll end up. Well, we're going to hold you down.
That's what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm afraid of. And if EA puts out the next Titanfall in the middle of Battlefield and Call of Duty again,
that's their own fault.
Then it's not going to sell well. But I'm saying that they could be doing that to set them up for failure. Right.
Oh, you think like they purposely think?
Yeah, that's EA, man. I don't. If you go search up like the history on YouTube, the history of EA, and you'll see a ton of studios that were railroaded like that and closed down just so that way they could take their IP and properties.
Yeah. So you kind of feel like maybe they're setting them up for failure, you think?
I think so, yeah. I think that because they didn't seem to really give a shit about Titanfall 2, and now all of a sudden they bought them. It just seems too coincidental to me.
Well, Charlie, the payout wasn't large.
I'm sorry, my mic went out and I didn't hear your questions before. I had to reconnect my mic.
What was he saying, Hebot?
No, I'm telling Nancy, I'm giving my thoughts on what I think about the whole Titanfall.
Oh, okay. I thought you asked me a
Nancy.
question. My mic went out. Okay, sorry.
No. What I was telling Charlie was that because Charlie's saying that it seems or kind of feels almost like EA acquisition of obviously of Respawn almost feels like they're setting them up for failure because based on their history, with Obsidian and developers like Visceral Games and things like that. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to say he's far-fetched because they only paid out $400 million. For me, it's like that. You got to put it in perspective. Microsoft bought Rare when Nintendo did at that time, right back then, right? And they paid $250 million. We're talking about 15 years ago. Today, 2017, they couldn't Respawn at least $1 billion or a point.
Okay, well here, let's put it this way. They bought PopCap, or you know the people that do the Plants vs. Zombies?
Okay.
They bought them in 2011 for $750 million.
Jesus! Wow! Really?
Wow! But they only gave Respawn $455 million. So that to me, it sounds weird to me.
So your speculation is really not far-fetched.
At that point in time, to be fair, PopCap was on fire.
Well, yeah, but Respawn's not like to me they're definitely worth at least matching the $750 million.
No, they're pretty quality. They have quality. They did Call of Duty 4, which is arguably that's basically the best one.
That's arguably the best in that series.
I just think with them paying such a low amount and it coming from under the table, I think that they only purchased them so that way they could get their properties off of them and then close them down.
And it shouldn't, because Respawn has a lot of history that they moved. They're the ones who made that Michael Bay-esque type of cinematic style with first person be a thing. You see what I'm trying to say?
Oh yeah, I know.
Millions and millions of dollars Activision off, so they should be commended and respected for that alone, because they made their mark in gaming history. So absolutely, it'll be very sad. I hope that. But one more thing I wanted to add, I think it was Demigod who said it. Yes, Nancy, they are doing a Star Wars game. They're doing a Star Wars game, like in the vein of Force, the Force Unleashed, and like a combination of God of War, because the guy who developed God of War with one of the old original developers, he's doing it with them, with EA. That's their first project before Titanfall 3. So are doing next year, if I'm not mistaken. But again, I hope it's down because it would be really sad. They've done it to a lot of good developers. I mean, I love Visceral Games. The Dead Space series is phenomenal. I love Dante's Inferno. I don't want. They did in the long run. To do is just become.
Your mic's getting real bad again.
Yeah, okay, give me a second. Give me a sec. I think what they're trying to do for the long run on their company's vision is just to be straight up service based.
There you go.
Yeah, they've admitted that.
Yeah.
All right, one thing I want to do, guys, before we move on, because I was watching the chat as you guys were talking, and that's what kind of messed me up before. Is there a lot of people in the chat saying that PlayStation did not have a good year this year? Okay, especially one individual person, I think his ass hurt, didn't have a good year this year. Where are you getting that shit from?
Somebody is smoking dick if they think that. Excuse my language.
Who the hell is saying that?
Who's saying it? Rambo, you'll know who this is.
Well, Rambo, you could just read the
Rambo.
chat. Nobody
Yeah, well, no, I'm trying to go back and read it to figure out who.
I'll give you the name. That used to be on the podcast no longer here, called Demetrius.
Oh, come on.
There you go.
PlayStation.
Get him, Rambo.
PlayStation didn't
Somebody
have
is smoking dick if they think that.
Nancy.
Yeah.
I don't think you could ask for a better year than this year for a console.
I'm going to tell you.
What's that?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you why they're.
Wait, I can't hear you. Your mic's going crazy again.
Okay, tell me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can, and every time it goes out. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to try to explain to you. I think why they're saying that from an Xbox perspective guy, because I've been around a lot of people that like Xbox obviously, and that like other things that they're talking about probably the first parties. Knack didn't do that well. Knack 2 and Horizon was really a heavy hitter, even though it was a good game for them. That was great. They're the only ones who have heavy hitter right now at this point, other than Nintendo with Mario. And also because of Forza, Forza GT being online only and not really having a lot of content. Because as far as them having a variety, yeah, they had a lot of stuff, but it was from Japanese developers. They weren't from games that they did, like Berserk and Persona, obviously, Neo, Nier.
Okay, but you're talking about somebody who only plays wrestling, basically. So. Come on now. It is what it is. I'm keeping it real and 100.
Hey. WWE 2K games are fun.
What?
Relax.
I didn't say that. No, I'm not saying it. I got wrestling games, okay? I got all kinds of games. But what I'm saying is when you only stream wrestling games, okay, and that's it, and and your gamer score is so low, come up and talk to me about my gamer score. I have been on PlayStation more than I'm on Xbox, okay? My gamer score on Xbox is still going up, okay? Can you beat over 107,000? No. So don't talk, okay? And I'm playing on PlayStation as well. So there you go. Yeah, but you're more of a Nintendo person, so that's different. But somebody who says I'm pro Xbox, then you better be pro Xbox, and your gamer score better be up there, and you better have games listed where I can see them.
The pro is neutral of YouTube.
No, not you. I'm talking about other people, not you.
I'm just saying, I'm a pro is neutral of YouTube.
No,
I don't claim no sides.
No, I wasn't. No, not you. I'm talking about anybody in the chat that does this shit. Not people on the panel. No, listen. You would know if I was talking to you on the panel because I'd address you personally. Trust me.
Oh, yeah,
Trust me. You know. True that, right? You know that.
Yeah,
I'll call you out. It don't matter. You know how I do. But no, I just don't like people. 1 minute, when you're saying one thing, next minute you're saying stop playing games. All right,
yeah,
and then
you can't say that PlayStation hasn't had a good year though. You can't say that.
They have. No. They have had a good year. They've had their exclusives. They had all their first party shit. I mean, they have games that you will never see on Xbox or Nintendo. Unfortunately, you're not going to see it.
Yeah, like Hidden Agenda is a damn good game.
Not. And they're good games. Look at them. They're good games. I played them.
Mm-hmm.
They're good games. And I don't play no easy games where I can get easy trophies and do all that. No, I play games where it gives me a run for my money. Because that's what it's about.
I mean, I played them Telltale games.
Nope.
So
I play those too.
You mean narratives,
But-
not games?
Yeah.
I play all genre games. That's just me. I'm just a gamer all over the board. So
But generally,
is what it is.
PlayStation has had a good year.
they have. You can't deny that.
Yeah, you can't deny that.
Nintendo's had a good year. You gonna tell me
Nintendo's
Nintendo
had
has a
a
good
good
year?
one.
Yeah, so far.
So far, Nintendo's had a good year.
It hasn't
So you
even
gonna
been
say
a full
that?
year yet for them. So
Well, no, but I mean,
They've had a good couple of months. If like, it hasn't been a full year, like Frozen said. It's been months.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they've been good since March. So I mean,
But that's what I'm saying. This year, though, year, 2017, they've done good so far.
oh yeah,
Hopefully, they can keep it up. But they've done good so far.
That's the only thing that's wrong. That's kind of at a if with Nintendo is if they can keep it up. If they can keep it up, they're on fire.
Exactly. Exactly. And I hope they do. I don't want to see any console do bad. I don't want to see Microsoft do bad. I don't want to see none of that. That's why I bitch so much about Microsoft, because I go back and I have all my consoles, even back to the OG, and all my games. Okay, Hebot knows my collection. All right, he knows. It bothers me because of the way it is now. I want it changed. I want to have everybody doing well. I want to be able to play, games on all platforms. I don't want something that's just like, I want exclusives on all platforms. Give me a reason to buy more. I'm a gamer at the end of the day. I need diversity on each. I need something different on each console. You get different on Nintendo. You get different on PlayStation right now, but you are getting a little bit of different on Xbox, but not as much as they can do.
Mm-hmm. If you aren't living in the
They
indie
can do
section,
better.
you really aren't getting the difference. Because that's only where the difference really is to me. Like the indie games on Xbox are like the only place where they're actually like attempting a difference.
But you get what I'm saying, though. They
I
can
get
do
what you're
better.
saying. They can be way
get
better.
And I know they can do it. They did it way back with the 360.
Hello?
Come on. Yeah.
I'm very critical of what they can do.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now I can.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I don't know if you guys are hearing what I was trying to say.
No, I
You're
can't
not.
hear you.
What I was trying to say was that I think what they're trying to say is that the people that say things like that, but I agree with you 100% that a person that just plays one game like a basketball or Madden or wrestling, they shouldn't have that type of opinion or comment, because you can't really take it too seriously because they don't really play anything else, right?
Or,
and for people
if you don't beat games and you don't support exclusives, then where are you?
And if you're a person that plays a bunch of stuff, you can't really say, well, no, they didn't have a lot of games. Well, it's like a lot of Xbox guys when they say, I don't care about JRPGs. They say, yeah, that's fine and dandy, but there is a market for it. And there are people that like it. And if they're there, not only will you make the people that like it happy, you will bring other people that also are on other platforms over that will be happy. So it's like a necessary evil no matter what. If you want to be realistic.
That's what I'm saying. You can
Right.
you have something different over here. You're going to get your regulars, and you're going to get somebody new coming to do this.
Right. So that's what.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Nancy.
No,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry. No, I was trying to say that the reason why
You're gone again.
this guy in particular likes wrestling games. I'm talking about like other people, within the Xbox on I think because they're probably talking about how their first party from them wasn't as strong as people are used to, especially on PlayStation, let's say, right? Because they had, Horizon, which was the best successful game for them thus far this year. And then, NAC 3 didn't really, NAC 2 really didn't do as well, even though it was first party. And then, obviously, the GT Sports because of the lack of content, or being online all the time. A lot of people are not happy with that as well. That's probably what they're trying to say. But as far as having third-party support, they had a lot of support. They had Hellblade, they had things like Persona, things like Berserk, things like Neo and Nier Automata, Yakuza, obviously. So in that sense, yeah, they've had a strong year with the third-party support.
How would you know that if you're an Xbox guy? I'm only playing Hebot. I'm only playing because I know you have diverse. I know you have a lot of consoles in your house. I was just messing with you. I have to do that.
Baby girl, I play games. I have all those games. Like I said, just because I prefer Xbox doesn't mean I don't play Nintendo. Doesn't mean I don't play PlayStation. I support PlayStation. I support Xbox because I buy their products. I just rebought Horizon Zero Dawn today. Granted, it was on sale, but I rebought it. Okay, because I didn't have time to play it, and I wanted to play it again, and it was on sale, so I repicked it up. I just bought Bugsy. A lot of people don't even know probably that Bugsy came out, a new version that came out.
Oh man,
He bought Bugsy.
I just bought Bugsy, and it feels a lot like Gianna Sisters, but it's still pretty decent. I don't maybe think it should be $40, maybe $25, $30, but it's still a game from back in the day. The novelty of playing, because I played the original Bugsy on Master System and Super Nintendo and Genesis, So, for me, even the Sega CD one. So for me, it was a no-brainer. I had to pick it up because I love those games. I just bought Ninja Warriors, which is a title game, old school style that used to have the 3 screens, like the X-Men game in the arcade from Konami. So again,
stop telling everybody your age.
I still give you credit for buying Bubsy, man. I, as a reviewer, I wouldn't reach out.
I'm 42. Demigod, I'm 42 years old. I've been here since it all began, but I haven't looked back. Yeah, I know, Charlie. I know. I've been
young here in the game.
I have 8 beautiful kids and wonderful kids. I've been lucky. They've been staying out of trouble. Nobody got any girl pregnant. No girls got pregnant yet, so I've been lucky so far. And they're in college. I have 2 in high school. So, and they're gamers too, just like me. That's so. It is what it is. It's a beautiful. I always said that the great thing about gaming is like no other medium. It's unique because it unites all type of people from all around the world, and there's no prejudice. The controller has no prejudice. You see what I'm trying to say? And that's the best part about it. And we could all agree to disagree, but doing it the right way to help move gaming forward, not just to disagree for just the sake of disagreeing. You know what I mean? To help the community, to help the PlayStation nation and Xbox community and the Nintendo nation. It's to help, because if one does better and the other one is going to strive to do just as good or not better. So you have to look at it like gamers, not like we're just console warring or hating on each other. No, we have to look at it as gamers, because this is for the fruitfulness of the hobby, of the industry. Gaming is a culture. Gaming is part of our society. It saves people's lives. It saves people from being in the street. It has saved people from being dead, for Christ's sakes, from going to jail. I have many friends that have been saved by gaming and have made something out of themselves because of gaming. So that's why, it's always great to talk. And a lot of people might think, oh, I don't like associating with Hebot because he just like Xbox. He's crazy. Listen, that's fine. I'm a good person. I have a big heart. I'm kind to everyone. I never try to disrespect anybody. Have I gotten into quarrels back and forth? Absolutely. Me and Charlie have disagreements all the time.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Charlie's never disrespected me. I've never disrespected him. And if he felt that he crossed the line, the same thing like me, we always apologize. We always say, hey, listen, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean that. Because at the end of the day, we're grown men. We're real gamers that enjoy gaming. And we're just, this is fun. This is supposed to be fun. This is not supposed to be about, oh, fuck you. It sucks. This sucks. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be about having fun. So that's where I see it in my perspective of it. So, I think that's why people probably said that. But you can negate, the advantage that PlayStation has is because since the Japanese market for PlayStation 4 is larger, has such a nice large install base over there. the developers, or Japanese developers, are going to gravitate to them first. They're just going to go there because it's a given. You know, that's where they're going to sell their market first. I just hope that more of them.
People don't understand one thing. Where did gaming start?
Well, gaming started with Japanese consoles, but American gamers is what made, you know, those consoles.
I know, I'm not saying, all right, but that's not what I'm saying. But that's where gaming started, is what I'm saying. We made it
absolutely relevant.
But that's where we made it relevant, but that's where it started. But that's where it started. So of course they're gonna support what's Japanese first over what's done here. You got to realize Microsoft is an American-based company.
Right.
It's not.
But I'm glad you said that, because I'm like, you know, if American gamers supported Japanese consoles through all the years, I kind of wish the Japanese gamers themselves and developers kind of open up and not be so restricted and be like, you know what, you know,
wait,
too. You know?
Wait, where is this misconception that the gaming started in Japan?
Well, I mean, I don't say that it started, because Pong was really one of the first.
Well, actually, the Magnavox Odyssey was the very first home console, and that was a U.S. based company, and they released it in 1972 in U.S. and the following year in Japan.
Yes, I had that console.
Yeah, home console home console started in the United States.
I think Titanfall is alluding to more of the you know,
the rebirth of gaming, like
not only
like Nintendo.
You got to realize I wasn't around then. I don't know that shit.
I'm just asking.
Probably from the rebirth. Yeah.
You're talking about like Nintendo. You're talking about the rebirth of gaming, because gaming went out. Yeah, gaming was almost non-existent.
But
I know about this in America too.
It did with Magnavox and their Odyssey and Pong, obviously. But what made gaming transcend, meaning we got all these other different types of genres, was with Japan. I think that's
because of Nintendo, the NES, like they saved gaming.
Right. Well, I mean, to be honest, I don't know if a lot of people know, the Master System was before the NES. It was the third version when it came out here in America, but it was out in Japan. It never came out.
Right, but I mean, like the reason why that I say the NES is what saved gaming is because the US is the one that always leads in the consumption.
Yeah, no, but it did. Remember Atari Crash Gaming? Oh yeah,
Atari killed gaming, man.
Listen, check this out, Charlie. Because a lot of people might not know because they're not from our era, right? If Nintendo never put in the Rob robot, right, in the NES, to play it off like it was an actual toy, an electronic toy, instead of a video game console, the distributors, you know, like Child World, Toys R Us, they would have never picked it up. That's how they got away with it. They said, "Oh, it's a toy. It's an electronic toy that you could do little gaming stuff on it." And then that's when Mario took off, and it you know, flourished the market again. That's how they put it off, and they sold it to the American market, because America didn't want nothing to do with video games after the saturation.
Not after Atari and Magnavox and all them kind of basically tried to fuck over gaming with so many consoles and so many games out there that were trash.
Yes, and selling them for an expensive price. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, they were trying to kill us.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's for a little history for you guys that are not mine and Charlie's age bracket.
I gotta say, I think Craig Harris came back. Are you still here, Craig, or did you dip out on me again?
No. Yeah, that's I do apologize for that. The
and then he's
you
gone.
there?
Oh my God, Bendito, he's having problems.
Up the heat off, bro.
Your mic, Craig.
Sounding like.
You're sounding like
now. Yeah, like me.
Oh shoot! Is that better now?
That's better now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So, what do you want to add to anything? You coming in towards the end? I know you were here earlier. You probably had some things to take care of, or your stuff went down, or whatever. But what do you have to add to any of this? I mean, we talked about EA with buying the Titanfall IP, and we talked about Microsoft hardware and the gaming stuff. As you can see, we just learned a history lesson. What do you have to add to any of this?
Oh, yeah. I mean, as far as the history lesson, yeah, I was there. I mean, the first console I had was Pong.
Yeah.
Then then we got an Odyssey, which I didn't like the joystick when I was a kid. Then we got an Atari. Then we moved into Nintendo. So yeah, it's that was a cool history lesson. But as far as Xbox, my understanding from the people who actually have the new Xbox system, it's like Justice League. It's getting a mixed reaction. So people either like it or there's some things they don't like about it. So but overall, I think they'll be fine with it. I hope they concentrate on first party IP. I think they didn't have something jumped off the books. They do have some real good looking games, but EA buying Respawn, that's going to be a husk. Look what they did there. Look what they just did to BioWare. I mean, they destroyed Mass Effect, destroyed it. So, so I certainly hope it works out though. But I'm happy for everybody that got the Xbox X. Again, the pictures that I've seen, the people were excited to get it, and I agree. That's hebot's when he was talking about the gaming, the culture, seeing people that happy and excited. That's what I was excited for. To go home and play the game, So, no matter what console you prefer, I just think we had gotten to a point. I was on a podcast Wednesday night, and you had people going back on what looked better between Horizon Zero Dawn and the 4K version of Gears. And I'm thinking, guys, both games look good. Both are cool games to play. So there's really no. I mean, if you want to, I gave a little bit of a nod to Horizon because it was a new IP. That is a brand new IP.
Well, you have open world versus linear, so but
Gears, there's nothing. Gears.
Gears looks good. Game. Yeah, Gears looks good. I mean, I actually was surprised to see how well Gears looked on the S.
Yeah, and it was optimized very well. It was, it was fine, So, but I just think we're to a point now where you got two groups of people consuming information, consuming the same type of media. They just consume it differently, and everybody thinks their version is the best version. I've always said, look, if Sony's version, if Microsoft's version was the best version, then they would not have kind of been where they are. Sony kind of knocked it out of the park. So did Nintendo. The Microsoft system is out now. Everybody that's bought it that I've talked to seems extremely excited. So that's what I'm talking about. Be happy playing your game.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
I think they're definitely in the right direction. I think they mean well. I think they really want to make everyone happy, even the ones that lost faith in them or that probably retracted and kind of been hesitant. So, but it's like I was saying before, Craig, it's so nice to meet you and so nice to get to talk to you, even though it's brief.
Yeah.
As gamers, what we need to do instead of bicker and throw shades at each other, we need to unite and help each other. Because at the end of the day, the only people that are going to benefit out of all this is us.
Yeah, we got to get these companies. We got to hold them hostage, man. They got all the money,
But see, this is like hebot. You were talking about something before, about educating people and doing all that. This is why I do my podcast, not for, not. But one, I enjoy gaming, but two, I want to unite the communities. I want everybody to do better. I want people that are with these companies to somehow, hopefully, somebody send them this and say, listen, we've got a group of people here doing a podcast that are talking about what they want, how this industry can be better, what you can do to make better sales, what you can do to get people interested. That's why I do my podcast.
Well, I mean,
for those reasons, because I want to keep it alive.
You know how you guys hit all these valid points about Microsoft needs more first party developers, stuff like that, which is a very valid point. The same way I feel that Sony needs to treat their fans better with a better online ecosystem, for one, right? Constructive criticism.
They definitely need a better, more services that they like. I've been critical of that because, like, refunds and digital gifting and shit like that should be happening on the PlayStation console. But as long as they're that far in the lead, they just have no pressure at all to do anything like that. So that's another reason why I want Microsoft to do better, is to kind of force Sony's hand, because that's what competition does.
Yeah, you're right. Things like changing your name, like they should allow you guys to do. They said it was coming, and it still hasn't come.
We should have been that name changing on PSN.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You can change your name on the Switch for free. You don't even need to pay.
So look at that.
Even dedicated servers, like dedicated servers, so that when you guys play online games, or maybe have also more online games, so they can have dedicated servers, so you guys can play more online gaming better. That it doesn't have hiccups or freezes or kick out like they fighter.
But see, that's the thing. The people on this podcast, I agree with one thing that we all agree upon. If we have something wrong with each console that we play, we actually bring out what's wrong and we fight for what's right. We don't say, oh, the console I play on is the best console ever. We have no issues. There's nothing wrong. We don't do that. We actually sit down, have conversations, bring it out. We try to let people know what's wrong. Group with us, gather with us, and complain about it to get it fixed. We actually do that. Yeah. We do it with Microsoft. People have done it with Nintendo, and we do it with PlayStation. And if somebody don't think that we all don't do that, see, that's the problem. We have real gamers here. People who aren't real gamers will just say, oh, there's nothing wrong. Well, every console has its issues. I'm sorry. Every console has its issues that needs to be corrected.
Well, let me just add something. Let me add something to what hebot was just saying real quick. See, that was kind of what I was talking about. I've talked to Xbox people on that headset, whatever. They interrupt me when I'm playing, which I do not like. But okay, I didn't even know they could do that. But they really don't understand why the Sony people don't want to play online more. And I really tried to explain to them. I said, look, most of the people don't play games online. They don't do that. So, I mean, I told them the Sony guys don't want to come home, put on a headset, call in the B2 and shoot somebody in the head and get one-man army. They don't want to do that. And that's
I do.
I know you do. I know. Yeah, I know. I mean, but a lot of people don't game like that.
No, you're right. No, you're right.
I mean, I've heard you guys say, Sony has sold 60+ million consoles. Okay, that's fine. They do. I'm not knocking that. How many PSN accounts are active online? It's less than 30 million. So that means a majority of their people aren't online gaming. They're offline gaming. When you look at the games that are coming out, whether it's a God of War, a Spider-Man, Horizon Zero Dawn, you do not have to be online to play any of those games. MLB The Show, Persona 5. Again, you do not have to be online to enjoy those games.
Right.
So,
Craig, why do you think when I befriend somebody that they have to be an online player so I can play with them? They have to have PSN so I can play with them. I don't play that. If you want to be my friend, you want to be a real gamer, then you have to have PSN and we can play online and we can do all that. I can invite you. You can invite me. Without that, you're not just going to try to befriend me and just be over there talking some shit and chat, sending me messages and doing all that stupid shit. Ain't happening. Damn. You got to be a real gamer. So that I agree with you 100% on.
Right. Well,
yeah. Right. So it's really, but you have two different groups consuming the media differently. And hebot's right. Instead of people celebrating the differences to advance the conversation constructively, you got a lot of people that have gone in a deconstructive manner because it's entertaining. So, and look, I've had my podcast where I just went straight up. I call it verbal assault on different kinds of people. And it's fun, it's entertaining, but I've told my subs, I will no longer really be doing that. Don't send me people sending, comparing games on console to PC and all. I don't care about that, So, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Look, you're absolutely right, and that's what I keep telling people, that the PlayStation demographic, the Xbox demographic, and the Nintendo demographic are different. But here's the only thing I'm going to add to what you're saying. It's just like when Xbox guys say we don't need JRPG on Xbox.
Okay.
Everybody has it's better to have it than not to have it. You've heard that saying, obviously.
Yeah.
So
yes,
whether PlayStation guys don't really play a lot on online, it's better that you have it so that so the people that do go to PlayStation or that are on PlayStation that want to have it, you have the choice. That's how I see it. You hit a valid. It is that, but the point is that it's different demographics. But again, that's why I don't see nothing wrong with a person that wants to get more single player experiences that are more solitary to yourself and personal on a PlayStation. You buy a PlayStation console. If you want to have a more single player experience with multiplayer, or with multiple people or online only, then you can buy an Xbox. That's why I see it that way. But that's only me. I'm one out of millions of people. You see what I'm saying?
No, yeah, but you got a lot of games that you can play multiplayer on with PlayStation as well. It's just you got to have the people to do that. But that's why I said.
I'm trying to say is that since you have those multiplayer games, you need a solid online ecosystem, like dedicated to like Xbox.
Yes.
Because you guys, the hardcore.
I've actually gotten on Xbox, and there was barely anybody to play with at times. So you can't even say that. Some of these people, you know what they were? I looked up people that were on my friends list. You know where they were at? Media player. Media player. Netflix.
I'm saying, like, since you guys have people that play online, right? You have to support those guys because you guys pay for PSN. You guys want better, and you guys deserve better because you're supporting PlayStation. If that wasn't the case, right? Excuse me. If that wasn't the case, there wouldn't be, the top console.
But he bought one thing.
Yeah, what's up?
Don't people like me deserve better on Xbox when I get on there? Not to have a community that's bashing people all the time or bashing other games you play and that are actually playing online and not on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why I said, Nancy, that even though a lot of Xbox guys may not want JRPGs, right? They need to be there because if you don't have them there, you're almost like you're being biased to your own product. You see what I'm saying? You can't do it. You have to have it there because you're going to have people that will go and try it, that will appreciate it, or maybe want to try it for the first time. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't argue. I don't argue when people say, "Oh, I don't like getting into that argument." People say, "Oh no, we don't need the JRPG." I said, "Listen, maybe you don't need it, but other people might like it. You can't say that." That's
why I don't like people talking about we don't need this on the console. You may not like it, but there are other Xbox people that like it.
There is a supportive fan base for that on the console.
But you see, there are so many people that people listen to the most of. They listen to people that don't play games. And I'm talking about even Phil Spencer, Aaron Greenberg, and all those people. They get in chat with people that don't play games. And they listen to what they have to say, and that's wrong. Listen to the true hardcore gamers.
Got subs. Not the gamers, the subs.
It don't matter. But they're not playing games. They can have all the subs they want. They're not playing games.
I've been trying to talk to...
Give me 30 minutes with Phil Spencer. I can have a sit-down conversation with him.
Well, to be real, some of these big YouTubers like Angry Joe, I don't think he really plays games. PewDiePie, he don't play games like that, and these guys, that's who they listen to,
But see, that's what I'm saying, and that's my point. The one thing that PlayStation and the Xbox and Nintendo have in common, that they have in common, is that they all have some core gamers on them. What needs to happen is those hardcore gamers need to stick together. Those fools who are trying to pretend they're hardcore gamers and educate people enough to say, hey, this is what we got to do in the gaming industry to make it grow.
And make it
This
thrive,
is what we got to do. This is what we got to do. We got to eliminate those fools by being outspoken. That's what we got to do. Eliminate those fools that aren't playing, and people listen to these fools say, oh, don't buy that, it's trash. How can you say it's trash? You never played it because it's not your genre game. It's too hard for you. You don't like puzzles in a game. Come on.
Well,
That's
No,
me.
man.
I can't stand it.
I do that, but I'm cool when I do that.
people
Say
say
it again?
Gaiden is garbage, Nancy, because it's so hard for them. So and I love Ninja Gaiden. I'm right now. I'm playing Ninja Gaiden Sigma on PS3
I
all
love
over.
Ninja Gaiden. I wish they bring another one to Xbox.
Yeah, Ninja Gaiden 4 would be amazing. Yeah,
Oh my
absolutely.
god, it's hard, but I love it. I love the fact that it's hard.
Tagi
play.
3 from Scrum Software. Okay, Tagi 3 would be nice. Ninja Blade would be amazing.
I need them to get the actual guy from Tecmo back to do it, not just make a Ninja Gaiden.
No, I agree.
The
with
last
that.
one wasn't really that good.
No, I agree
It
with you
was
saying.
really
Yeah.
bad.
You know what it is that they made it too easy. It holds your hand too much. So the actual fans go up with the other ones. They're like, "Whoa, what the hell is this?" But
Yeah,
it's
what the hell is this? You tell me what to do. I don't want to be told what to do. I just want to do it. We're not
Like,
used to that. See, that's the
I
thing.
had legit stress with Ninja Gaiden 2, and it was fun stress.
yeah,
Wasn't it? Exactly. It was fun stress. It wasn't because you want. See, I don't like a game that. First of all, I don't like a game that is too easy. I don't like a game that holds your hand, tells you what to do. I don't like a game that you go waypoint to waypoint. I like open worlds, and I also don't like a game that
controller.
it's stupid, retarded to control. Okay, and they make it. They have the stupidest shit in there that you can't even figure out nothing. And I'm good with puzzles. Trust me, I do Sudoku puzzles and all that. Okay, on hard. So I'm good with puzzles. I could figure out that shit. I got puzzles in my head. Okay, I'm good with numbers. I'm good with all that. But I don't like bullshit in games either.
Mm-hmm. That's why
I want something that's going to give me a challenge. I want that fight. I want I want that fight.
Did you play Rise and Shine? That game with a little kid, that bunch of Easter eggs to gaming. I don't know if you played it. It's awesome. It's really hard too. Like wow, it's like Cuphead. It's really.
What's the name of the game?
Rise and Shine. It was exclusive for a while first on. Yeah, but it just came out on PlayStation 2 for all you PlayStation only have PlayStation.
I played it before.
It's an awesome little game with the little. It was difficult. Like it was tough. It was challenging. Like Cuphead. Oh my god, it makes you want to break a controller.
It wasn't that bad. Come on, everybody say Cuphead was that bad. It wasn't that bad. I never wanted to break my controller. I love the graphic, the cartoon graphics in that are
amazing. Yeah, I know, but I'm you
were amazing.
For you, Nick.
Wait, say that again. I couldn't hear you. Your mic.
Different because for me and for you, it's not as hard because we played a lot of games like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The average person is hard, so it makes you want to play the controller and you get that sense of like, oh damn, I get what you're saying. It wasn't like really hard for me either. I haven't finished it because I haven't had the chance to really play all of it, but I'm in like the third world right now, and it's awesome. It's a fun game. Anybody gets it to pick it up, it's an awesome game, especially if you don't have PC. You don't play.
They actually did that cartoon graphic very well. It's just like you look back. It takes me back to before I was born, where what my family was saying. Did you see those graphics? My brother, my older brother, was saying that. Did you see those graphics? He said those were the cartoons I used to watch. He said it's almost like Popeye, Betty Boop, and all that put together. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, Courageous Cat and Hit Mouse. Back in the pop, beat him up like that. That would be.
Me. He's got a whole my brother has a whole family of gamers. His grandkids are gaming. His grandkids are gaming. It's crazy.
Hello?
My sister-in-law, who's way older than me, she's still gaming. Right. They got Wii U's, they got Xbox. I think they got a Switch now. Xboxes, PlayStations, they got everything in the house.
Hey Nancy, I gotta go, sweetie. I'm so sorry. I gotta pick up my daughter. She's at her friend's house.
All right, well, do me a favor. Do your outro. Tell everybody where to find you. Tell everybody who you are and where to find you. Do your outro.
It's been an absolute pleasure to the panel, Craig, Frozen, Demigod, and obviously Charlie. You know, we're no strangers. And Nancy, thank you again. It's been a lot of fun. Been great talking about games and the politics and the situations and what we want better and what we don't want better and what we're happy, what we're not happy with, obviously. It's been a lot of fun. You guys, if you're interested, I mean, I'm a pro Xbox guy, but I try to do all types of things. I do, I do toy unboxing. I'm a toy collector. I do podcasts with my buddies for movies and comics as well, like Triple Club Chuck and Sega Forever. So shout outs to them. I do the direct decks with Collider and them, obviously. I'm a permanent member. You know, we talk Xbox there as well. But my channel is Xbox on YouTube. If you want to come check out my videos, I have all types of stuff on there. I don't try to just do gaming. You're more than welcome. And if you come, I really appreciate it because I know nobody has to. But if you do, you become part of my family. I usually always try to say that because it's how I feel. And I appreciate it because I know you don't have to. So I'm hebot with a capital H and a capital B, hyphen in the middle.
And he's an undercover pony, guys.
Yeah, I'm on PlayStation too, but I don't even remember my PlayStation gamer tag because it's the one my son created for me originally. But I believe it's Out Fell from the Sky, so you guys can look me up there as well on PlayStation. And then I'm on Twitter. I'm hebot, a powerful gamer. If you want to see me there once from time to time, and I do Mixer and Twitch also a lot of retro stuff. I've been doing a lot of retro gaming, like stuff like Burning Fights and Streets of Rage 3. I just did the other night with my boy Ricardo Phase 11444. And then I have my gaming group, obviously the Infinite Rooms of the DX Mansion. And intromediagaming.com with 100 in the gang. A lot of different diverse guys there all day. Sure enough, stuff like that. We just try to talk game and have fun, So yeah, thank you for having me on panel. Thank you for letting me be a guest and hearing me out and being so kind and polite with me. I appreciate all your time and it's been a blast. Nancy, thank you so much.
You have a good one. God bless.
Yeah, Titanfall, I got to go too. The baby's asleep and needs to come into the room, so I can't be talking. So I was waiting for y'all to finish up so that way I could.
Right. Well, we can end it because it's almost 2 hours. So we'll do our outros now. So go ahead, Rambo. You can go next.
If y'all want to follow me, y'all can follow me at Rambo's Corner. I will be doing a podcast later tonight in about 2 hours. We do a late night one on Wednesday and Friday night called the Game Talk. You can always check us out on that. The link is actually a lot of
shit there.
Yeah, that we talk everything there from politics.
He talks a lot of shit there.
Everything. If you want to check us out, give us a shout out tonight. See what we're like. Other than that, hit me up on Twitter. We'll talk. We'll do it.
Sounds good. All right. What about you, Demigod? Do your outro.
What is going on, everybody? Thank you for having me. I'm sorry I was so silent. I'm at work, so I can't be.
You showed up though. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
You showed up. So go ahead.
Thank you. I'll try to. If you want me back home, just you always can slide me a link. I'll come through whenever I can to support.
I definitely would do.
You can find me at the channel. Demigod reviews, streams. I got my own podcast called Talking Strange, where we talk about Life is Strange and break down episode by episode, talk about what's upcoming. You can find it on my channel. You can also find it on SoundCloud at the Talking Strange Podcast. Support us. It's me and Sarge0079 at the council. We got our own thing going on there. But yeah, just subscribe to the channel. Very cool guy. Laid back reviews all the time. I try to give out as much of my opinion on these games because somebody needs to. And think, peace, opinionated stuff. Just the like. So hit that like and subscribe. Come by. Show some love. I need some subs. If I hit 500, I'll do a special giveaway or something.
And I better win. Let me stop. Anyway, next we got Frozen. Go ahead, Frozen.
Yeah, it was a great show. Check me out, Frozen_Magma. I did a video this morning. Nintendo Switch getting 3 new exclusive games from Namco Bandai, and Square Enix is also putting some more games on there. So The Switch still has no games according to people, but yeah, let's
No, it has games.
No, it has no games.
Aggressively putting
People are just hating. People are hating right now. People are hating right now. It's probably Xbox people. It's probably Xbox people hating because they're just hating. Don't even worry about that shit because we know they got games right now.
I like to just say Square is aggressively putting games on the Switch, as they like to say.
Yeah, I wrote that in there. Way better than that normal stuff, but you know, yeah, great show. And y'all need to calm down in the comment section because people are going crazy in there. I'm just giving y'all a warning.
Wow. What are they saying now?
No, it's just you can see what's in there. It's just a lot of toxic stuff going on in the comment section. It's crazy.
They always do that. When it comes to me, so I ain't worried about it. They can hate all they want. They hating because I'm doing what's right. I'm doing the right thing, so they're hating on that, and I know that because I do positive, they want to hate, and that's exactly what it is. The hate is caused by my positivity. Exactly. Positivity causes negativity, and that's what happens. And guess what? I don't really care what they say. They're here. They're showing us support. If they hated it so much, they wouldn't be here. So there it goes. Craig, do your outro.
Yeah, hey, I'm sorry I was late. Craig Harris, the Pope of Xbox. Craig's Corner, come join me over there. Porch Light Podcast. Join me on that. I may try to do something like that later on if the circuit breaker doesn't kick off again over here. And but yeah, everybody enjoy their consoles. And I did see, shout out to Forbes, shout out to Jimmy B Gaming, who gave a real good about an hour long review of the Xbox X. And shout out to Forbes, who gave a brutal review with Digital Foundry on Assassin's Creed Origins on the X. So everybody just check it out. Have a good time playing. And remember, just play the games, folks. Play the games.
Everybody, you know who this is. This is the Titanfall Princess. I'm going to tell you, check out everybody's channel. Hit that like button on the way out. And you know why you're going to check out everybody's channel and hit that like button? Because y'all know you love me because I'm the best girl gamer in the world. Check you out later. Have a good night. See you next Friday.